It was an ordinary Tuesday when Michael first noticed the irritation in his right eye. At first, he thought it was just a bit of dust, or perhaps an allergy acting up. After a long day at work, he rubbed his eye and dismissed it. But the next morning, he woke up to find a small, painful bump on his eyelid, a stye. He sighed, annoyed. Styes were annoying but not uncommon. He applied a warm compress and went about his day, expecting it to disappear soon enough. However, as the days passed, the stye didn't shrink. It grew, swelling larger and turning an angry red. At first, he didn't pay much attention to it, but as the stye continued to grow, he noticed something strange. It wasn't just the pain or the discomfort. It was as if the stye had a life of its own. Sometimes he would catch glimpses of movement in his peripheral vision, as if something was wriggling inside his eye. By the end of the week, the stye had become a grotesque, pulsating mass, and Michael's eye was nearly swollen shut. He decided it was time to see a doctor. The appointment was a blur. The doctor's concerned face, the way he asked questions, the prescription for antibiotics and an ointment. But as Michael sat in the waiting room, waiting for his prescription, he felt an odd sensation, like a strange pressure building behind his eye. That night, as he prepared for bed, he stood in front of the mirror, examining his reflection. The stye had grown so large it looked like a small, grotesque creature clinging to his eyelid. He felt a wave of nausea wash over him as he watched it pulse, almost rhythmically, as if it were breathing. Then, without warning, the stye burst. A thick, dark substance oozed out, and Michael stumbled back, horrified. But before he could react, the substance began to congeal, forming a small humanoid shape on the bathroom floor. Michael's heart raced as he watched the goo transform. The substance solidified into a mirror image of himself. Only it was darker, almost shadowy, and its eyes glinted with a sinister intelligence. "What the hell are you?" Michael shouted, backing away. The clone simply grinned, a chilling smile that sent shivers down Michael's spine. "I am you," it replied, its voice a distorted echo of his own. "I am the part of you that you've ignored, the darkness you've buried deep inside." "No, this can't be happening," Michael screamed. But the clone only laughed, the sound echoing eerily in the bathroom. As the days passed, the clone began to mimic Michael's actions, appearing in the background of his life, lurking in reflections and shadows. At first it was amusing. His friends would joke about how he looked tired or how he had a twin. But gradually Michael noticed something unsettling. The clone began to take over. It would appear in places he hadn't gone, saying things he would never say. One night Michael found himself face to face with the clone in the mirror. "You're weak," it sneered. "You've always been weak. I am everything you wish you could be. Confident, free of fear." "Shut up," Michael shouted. But the clone only laughed, a high-pitched cackle that echoed in the silence of his apartment. Desperate to reclaim his life, Michael sought help. He visited a series of doctors and specialists, but nobody could explain what was happening. The stye was gone, but the clone remained, a constant presence that taunted him day and night. Finally, he reached a breaking point. One night, he stood before the mirror, shaking with rage. "You can't have my life!" he yelled. "Oh, but I already do," the clone hissed, its smile widening. "You're nothing without me." In a fit of desperation, Michael lunged at the mirror, slamming his fist against the glass. The clone staggered back, but then it lunged forward, and for a moment they were intertwined, a chaotic whirl of limbs and shadows. Suddenly, everything went dark. When Michael woke up, he was in a hospital bed, a doctor hovering over him. "You scared us," the doctor said, relief washing over his face. "You had a severe panic attack." Confused and disoriented, Michael sat up. He felt different, lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. But as he glanced into the mirror across the room, his heart sank. There, standing behind the doctor, was the clone, watching him with a twisted grin. It was still there, lurking just out of reach, waiting for the moment he would let his guard down. Michael realized then that the darkness was not gone. It lurked within him, ready to emerge again. And as he stared into the mirror, he understood. He would never truly be free. The clone would always be a part of him, a dark reflection that whispered promises of power. waiting for the moment he would succumb.